Hey everybody, Jimmy with the Triple C Collective here. And with me, I've got three different co-hosts. With me, I've got Collin,
Hey, hey, hey.
Matt, and Ed. All of you, say hi. Oh, I just lost a Dogma.
Yo, yo.
Hello.
It's a good thing you have spare dogmas behind you, Jim.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
how does one man have just one dogma?
You don't?
Bro's
man.
watching him on different screens like he's like in the Matrix.
Multi-screening it. Speaking of which, I do have a TV directly to my right now.
Good wooden dot.
I will be the dogma.
Jimmy's always importing movies into his brain.
It's like Jim Carrey from like
Exactly.
Batman Forever.
I was about to say it, but I knew you had it, Jim.
So today, we are talking about Dogma, a movie that is celebrating 27 years.
Old as fuck.
And for a good portion of that, at least like the last like 17 of them, up until like 2025, this movie wasn't like available unless you got a copy like early on, when it was first released. And I guess with that, like, where did you guys first start seeing Dogma? Like, did you see it at home? Did any of you guys see it in theaters? Where'd you first
No.
see it at?
I definitely remember when it came out because like we were in Catholic school, so like it was a big deal. People were like protesting it and stuff.
News 12 New Jersey's Caroline Shively reports on one protest against the movie in Eatontown tonight.
Organizers in Eatontown had hoped for hundreds to join them in the protest against the movie Dogma. Instead, they got less than 2 dozen. But they were joined by this man. He wouldn't admit it, but he looked and sounded suspiciously like Dogma's writer, director, co-star, and New Jersey resident, Kevin Smith.
I don't think it stands for anything positive.
What does it stand for?
I don't know, but I've been told not good.
I don't think I saw it in theaters though. I definitely saw it at like my old buddy's house and with like his older brothers and stuff. Probably on DVD.
Definitely rented it like right when it came out. By that point, I was really into movies when I was a kid, so
Yeah.
I'd like heard good things about it. I didn't know anything about like the View Askew movies or anything like that. So this was like my first Jay and Silent Bob movie.
Same.
Rented it in 1999 and fell in love with Jay and Silent Bob. Just went back and did all the Kevin Smith stuff. So like this was my entry point to Kevin Smith, and might actually remain my favorite of his movies. Part nostalgia, but also part like it's very, very deep. Like this movie actually like really goes into a lot of real deep Catholicism and stuff. So excited to talk about it.
It's on my Letterboxd top 4.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, we saw that last night. Yeah. I probably about the same for me. I know it was probably in high school because my brother had the movie. And I remember vivid memories of seeing that case nonstop, and I remember not fully understanding what exactly was going on, but I knew that I was like, man, that had some meaning to it.
Yeah.
And one
'Cause
day
even the
I will
poster, right?
understand it. Yeah.
The poster was like had gravitas. Like it was
Yeah.
like not just like a normal stoner comedy or whatever that you're not used to from this type of stuff. You were like, ooh, what is this? This looks serious.
Yeah, it kind of looks like an action movie.
Yeah, for sure.
This is actually a movie that I don't see until high school. I know about like all of the controversy and stuff like leading up to it. Yeah, I went to Catholic grade school and then high school, so like the whole like thing of like the protests or whatever and people being like down with Dogma, like I totally remember that. Like I honestly feel like this was a movie that my mom tried to like shield me from like early on and stuff. Which is just like really funny because 2 years later, like my first entry into Jay and Silent Bob is Strike Back. That's the first movie in the View Askew inverse that I ever saw, and it was because I was over at a friend's house who had an older sister who her and her friends were watching it, and we were just like, "Can we watch with?" And they were like, "I guess."
I like
But so
movies.
I don't see Dogma until high school, and I got a copy. I had a copy, a full screen copy, actually, for the longest time. And then I got the 2-disc DVD one, and then that is my umbrella 4K.
Straight up shout out JimmE. I went to his house and he was like, "Bring your Dogma," and I'm like, "All right." So I brought my copy of Dogma and he switched it out with his signed copy of Dogma with Jay. I was like, I was like, I borrow this for a little bit or what? What's going on right now? No, they're yours. Oh, what?
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Actually, the copy that I took from you is the one that just actually fell behind my couch. So sorry about that. I got to take better care of my physical media because it's so important. But that's one of those things. This movie wasn't around for so long. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, nice. My camera just automatic.
Yeah, that's the Lionsgate release of it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful 4K release. Like, get it, watch it. Ed's video is totally possessed, so it's really fitting that we're talking about like Dogma and something, because there's definitely a ghost or an angel just flying by all the time.
Yeah, Dogma DVD.
Yeah.
I'll just believe it's Post-it note. Fuck it. So you had the DVD, Merv?
Yeah, I had the 2-disc version that Jimmy was just talking about.
Because I was pirating the old.
Of course,
pirating way was the only way I was watching it.
Well, absolutely.
I used to have a huge physical media collection, and then like in 2019, my wife and I moved out to California for a bit, and I downsized and got rid of like almost everything that I owned, including all my physical media, and now I miss it.
Yeah, I always regret throwing they're throwing my media away. Always. Like clothes and stuff, get them out of there. Physical media, I need to start saving better. Even like I wish I had my old like tape cassettes and like my old CDs and stuff. All that's gone.
But there's even like some VHSs that I'm like, fuck, I would have loved to have like kept that or something because I've never seen it like re-released yet or whatever.
All the orange Nickelodeon ones.
Yeah,
those are
like,
sick.
and that's just. I have the Harriet the Spy one. I have it currently sitting at my house. Like I still have that in the big bulky VHS container. I have 4 VHSs from my childhood.
I think in '99 this came out, right? You said,
yeah.
So this would have been probably VHS still.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. It would have been. I think the last Laserdisc was released the year before in 1998. I believe that was Armageddon. Was the last truly produced Laserdisc, because those were basically done by then.
Do you know what the last DVD was? Or the last VHS, I mean?
No.
A History of Violence.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
That'd be a cool one on.
That movie rules. Criterion just put out a beautiful fucking 4K version of A History of Violence. But Dogma, do you guys know why it went away?
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But do you know why about it? Like, other than he owned it, because
was the falling out before all the scandal?
So there was. What it seems like in all of the interviews, and like specifically the umbrella one here, Kevin Smith gives a whole nother hour-long interview about like the history of Dogma and like what happened with it. And it's as simple as this. Harvey and Bob Weinstein, they signed their deals for Lionsgate and for Sony for the like theatrical release and home video release for like 10 years or whatever. Once those deals dried up, they just never went back to renegotiate with anybody. Like, they just never did. Like, Kevin went back to him and was like, hey, people are looking for it. Like, let's do a 10-year anniversary or something. And crickets. So, like, they just decided to hold it captive, I guess.
I feel like that's how you know Kevin Smith's a good guy, is like he had a falling out with Harvey Weinstein before it was cool to have a falling out with Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, right? Like,
do you know if they did that with like any other like physical media of movies that they owned?
They did that.
I've never heard of it. Yeah.
The Weinsteins did it. Well, it happens because of Disney. Disney sees Dogma. Disney also sees the movie Kids and is like, get this out of here. Get this
more of that
away.
Meanwhile, I'm in my basement.
And then,
give me all of that.
That's why the same thing happens. Harvey and Bob Weinstein buy it themselves and then make their other distribution deals for people. So once those things are done, they just are like, they kind of
didn't he also kind of steal the Scary Movie franchise? Didn't they also kind of steal that from the Wayans brothers?
Yeah,
It's a
more or
good
less.
point. Like I can't see a reason why they wouldn't have done, 3, because the first 2 were just
Yeah.
so damn successful and
Money
funny,
makers, exactly. But
Right.
yeah, no, there was something wrong. Something happened there with the deals, and yeah,
And why do you think they all came back now?
yeah, exactly.
Like,
Right.
like
Yeah, he just seemed like a piece of shit regardless.
Right on.
So
even
that's
Entourage, like lampoons
lampooned
them
him.
and stuff
Yeah.
as well. Like so, like it was.
Isn't it
like,
funny that of all things, Entourage tried to tell us?
Exactly,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, especially for that show, because like that show hasn't aged
It's celebrated
like, super
pieces
well.
of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I
but
still love it, but yeah,
I mean, right. I still love it too,
I
but
wouldn't
like,
die on the hill of Entourage for sure.
I,
But yeah, I love me some Ari.
oh, dude, Ari's both the best and the worst person in the world.
Exactly. I think only he could play him too. What's his name? Jeremy Piven.
Jeremy Piven. Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think anyone else could do that.
He doesn't seem fun to work with either. So yeah. But yeah, Dogma's just one of those movies that I connected with. It like it's in my top 4. I feel like not just because it's a great movie, which it is. It's like just a good A to C plot. Like one what's going on in the whole movie, and it's just funny and shit. But it's just we went to Catholic school, man, and it was like we went at a time when it was like really feigning, but also like still had a lot of power, which doesn't feel real anymore, like in America. Like it doesn't feel that way anymore, but back
Right.
then it still felt like, oh, the Catholic Church, and yeah, it was the first movie that I saw that was like, yeah, this shit's dumb, because I was having those feelings. I just had nowhere to really I had no outlet for it.
Right. So is that part of what you like really connected, like,
Yeah,
or
so
like
it's
why you connect with it, because it like kind of gave you like that, like, wait a second, other people are questioning things too. This
Yeah,
is like
not everyone thinks
okay.
this is just 100% real. Yeah, definitely.
Nice. Anybody else have that kind of like revelation from this movie, or were you kind of already there before it, and this just kind of cemented those ideas?
It kind of made me like inspect religion a little bit, because I didn't go to a Catholic elementary school. I went to public school, and my family weren't really church going. So like when I saw it, I was always really interested in like, well, what in this like is actually like real, like
Yeah, it was cool
because
too.
it's like the poop monster. I don't think that's really in the Bible, but there are all these other fascinating things like the Metatron, and God being like a voiceless is like, to me, like that's always been like the most like profound piece, is like the end with Alanis Morissette is that's always stuck with me ever since I was a kid, and has informed a little bit of like how I kind of view that kind of stuff anyways. So to me, it kind of opened my eyes a little bit to, I guess, like the dogma of Catholicism, and realizing that there's a really like interesting, rich like history behind it all. And to be such a fan of like fantasy and everything as well, it made me realize like there's some things in the Bible, like stories in the Bible, that are like really fantasy like and like interesting, right? I do not consider myself a Catholic by any means now, but I do think that there's some really fascinating storytelling that can come out of that book. And Dogma is kind of what introduced me to like that concept that's more than just the stories that you usually hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, the poop monster is based on some Catholic theology.
Really?
It's not like 100%
The
right on.
Golgotha, or the
The
Goliath.
Golgotha. Yeah,
The
it's the
Golgotha.
Golgotha. It's like based at like all like the demon form of accumulation of blood and bodily fluid. So definitely shit would be in there, but I'm not
Look at
sure.
that.
It's pretty sick though. Yeah, Christian Dogma is pretty fun. That's what I like. That's what was the hard part for me, is like you learn, about Zeus, and you're like, wait, they believed in this 100% the same way I'm supposed to. And then you see this, and you see the poop monster and how ridiculous it is when you see it in person, and compared to maybe reading about it where you might not even notice, and how silly it is. But it was great to just have that.
I remember watching this the first time, and after watching it the first time, being like, what was all the fuss about? Is honestly like what my reaction was,
Right, yeah.
like as a Catholic, because it was again, I didn't see this to high school, so people were already like, I already had people in my life who were already questioning it when I like had seen this, and I already had people in my life who were just like, I was born and raised Catholic, I haven't really like thought about it, like like me. So like eventually it got me to start asking questions. But I remember like watching it and almost being disappointed because like I had heard so much that it was this like awful bad movie, like fuck Dogma, like you gotta protest it and stuff. And then I watched it, I was like, it's not even like really making fun of Catholics. Like, like it's
Now you just relax, Jimmy. No one's going to judge you. Let's just, Jimmy, look at me. Look at me. Jimmy, look at me. Young man, look at me. Now we've been naughty, haven't we?
like
That's
like,
literally
like,
every time you look at anything Catholics protested about anything.
Right.
The Da Vinci Code, I remember when we were in high school, they were protesting when I went to see it. And it was like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Right? Like,
You're making me now believe the Da Vinci Code's real because you're protesting it and giving it more, which it isn't, you know what I mean? But now I'm like, well, if they don't believe it, I definitely believe it because it was like so, they were so ridiculous that it like worked against their own thing.
It's like, I mean, it's because anybody like criticizes or questions the like institution of Catholicism. Like, you have, you know, a very powerful church behind you. My wife and I went to Rome a few years ago and went to the Vatican, and like being there in person is like, whoa!
Yeah,
like the Catholicism is a very, very powerful organization, right? And so like that's what it criticizes, the institution of Catholicism, but the movie itself is super pro faith. Like the end of it is absolutely encouraging. You know, the belief in something, you know. So
and even like our lead character, and it like she literally her arc is going from like already have lost her faith to then kind of like finding it again at the end, and you know, like, but also like answering the call to like adventure and stuff, and like you know there was a little bit. I think Murphy, it was you who said it. It was like this is kind of like an action movie. Like there is a little bit. That this was the first movie that if you watch all of like specifically the View Askew-verse, this is the most different out of anything he's done. Like
Up
even,
until this point, especially,
especially Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, and then he follows it up with Dogma.
I'd say in a way, Chasing Amy is the most like it in its big topic. And as a white dude from like, you know, South Side of Chicago, I also needed that movie just as much as I needed this movie to kind of open me up to the idea of a bigger world out there. You know what I mean? Because as Catholics, we get pretty bubbled in our first like I don't know 18 years.
Murph, me and you, we watched Chasing Amy. It's my first time watching it, and you're like, "So what'd you think?" And I was like, "I didn't get it." And you go, "What the fuck do you mean you didn't get it?" And
I mean, I get that too. Like, what do you mean?
I was like, the girl
Yeah,
was
bro.
like gay. Like, of course she wasn't gonna like love him in the end. Like, I like, and then it was like it's the light bulb going on. It's like, oh, that I'm it's the first time I'm ever introduced to like bisexuality in like
and it's the name
film
of the
or
movie.
media or anything like that. And but it's just like one of those things. Like, I'll never forget that. You're like, what the fuck do you mean you don't understand? Because to be fair, Chasing Amy, for the most part, is a pretty like simply told like love story in that sense. Like, so saying that you don't get it is like it is an odd response to have.
I mean, they love each other. They just love each other in different ways. And he was chasing an idea more than he was chasing her, and that became obvious too by the end of it. But yeah, it was one of those movies that made me like you kind of think outside, like, oh, what do you mean? Like, it just took a little,
Jimmy.
Maybe a little goading by Matt there.
Yeah, I'm sorry if that sounded very dismissive and condescending, and Dude, the words honestly, of a young, arrogant young man.
It's honestly one of my favorite reactions I think that you've ever given me to like my like review or like first comment from a movie. It's actually something that I love. It makes me laugh every single time. Good. By no means is there any like hate on that or whatever.
He's like, all right, then I take that back. It motivated you clearly.
Right.
But yeah, thematically, I think they were similar in the sense that they were talking about things that were maybe a little ahead of their time, and or just right on time, in the fact that he had his finger on the pulse. The
craziest bit of trivia that I found about Dogma and doing like all of my research and stuff for the lead up for the pod was that Kevin Smith wrote this before he wrote Inconvenience, which ended up becoming Clerks.
Interesting.
That doesn't
wrote-
surprise me, actually.
This would be a harder sell for sure.
And he knew that. And
Yeah.
he knew that. He actually
And
wrote
money.
this originally for his buddy Vincent Pereira, who wrote and directed A Better Place. He's also the
Nice.
guy at the beginning of the movie when you see when we get introduced to Bethany in the church, who's just like knocked out, like sleeping in the pew. But like he originally wrote God, because that's what Dogma was called then, just God, so pretentious and shit. It was
Yeah,
like
it
a
was like-
200. Like
So
Kevin
is
Smith
Dogma, but
says it.
Dogma's cooler.
But
Dogma's pretty
it was
pretentious.
called
too.
God. It was 200 pages. And eventually he whittled it down to like the 120 that, or like 130 that it is now.
Thank you.
That we ended up getting. Obviously we got the name changed to Dogma, but yeah, that was the first script he ever like wrote. And then he just decided to kind of keep it in his back pocket. Obviously until he could get enough muster. And then once Ben Affleck and Matt Damon won Oscars, it was real easy for them to get the money made for Dogma. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
Dogma.
this is like far and away his most confident movie. Just the way that he handles everything, you could tell how much research he put into it. The way he balances the stoner poop joke humor with a lot of really well researched theological concepts. You can tell that he probably had a 200-page script because there's a lot of ideas in this movie. Sometimes just like one line or just a little character is like really trying to say a lot with just the existence of it. So yeah, I'd say this and maybe Tusk is his other most confident movie just because it's so batshit crazy.
Yeah. Just well thought out and like it was clearly planned very very much so. But yeah, I agree with Dogma. It is confident, and you could tell just by the cast. You don't just get George Carlin and Chris Rock, especially then like as top comedians, and then like Selma Hayek and Ben Affleck and Matt Damon who were at the
This
top
cast
of
is
their game.
stacked.
Yeah, it's like you don't get that without a good script. So
And
it was just tight.
It's an early wacky Damon performance.
Yeah.
'Cause
And they almost
Damon
like stopped after this for a while.
Yeah, he doesn't really do like another kind of wacky comedy thing until he kind of gets into Ocean's 11, like
Yeah.
territory, which is still like what, like 4 or 5 years, like
It's just 2 years after.
Huh?
What was that
Ocean's
one
11.
goofy?
Ocean's 11 is 2001.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
What's that one with Matt Damon and he's the Siamese twin or the conjoined twin?
Stuck on You?
Stuck
Yeah,
on
with
You.
Greg Kinnear, yeah.
Stuck
Is
on
that
You.
Greg Kinnear is his
With
other
Greg
twin
Kinnear.
or whatever?
Yeah.
I need to rewatch that. Because that was like when he really dipped his feet back into being just goofy.
Yeah. Because like I mean everything up to this point was all kind of pretty like dramatic.
Yeah. I think that was actually a problem with both of them is they got a little too self-serious. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon is like, and then in the past, I'd say 5-6 years, they've been getting kind of back to just taking good roles no matter what they are.
They're all. I mean, they also are making their own roles for themselves. They've got their
Production company. Yeah.
No.
Have you watched The Pit? Any of you guys?
Jessica does. She loves it.
No.
Or no, sorry. The what was it? The one, The Rip.
No,
Oh,
I didn't see that, but
I haven't seen their new one yet. No, I haven't seen that. Did you guys ever listen to the commentary track back on the DVDs or even the new releases?
I don't think so. No. Maybe.
probably. I used to listen to commentaries, but it's been a long time.
It's quite crazy to me. I went back because like when I was listening to the Umbrella copy, everything of Harvey Weinstein's name is washed from it. I was like, whoa, that's crazy, but I get it. Like, you know, like it's a new release, like they want his name wiped. So I went back to the DVD version. His name and shit is wiped from that stuff too. Pre like the Me Too and like all of his like all the terrible shit that we like that came out that he was doing for years. I just always found that was a very interesting thing as like a guy who owned the movie, like he just scrubs like his name and stuff from like things like that.
I mean, to be fair, he probably had minimum to do with it besides distribution, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they owned it
Probably.
outright. Yeah, you know, like I mean,
It just seems like
Miramax-
he was like a connection in the sense that he can get him Ben Affleck and Matt Damon probably at the time, but other than that, I don't see what he did for Kevin Smith, other than be a pain in his ass.
Right. I mean, he helped. He gave him money to make his movies. You know, that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
all of those movies are like owned by, or were like not owned by Kevin. You know,
It just
other than
seems like
Mama, it's
he's
owned by
like
Disney.
I'll give you money, but you got to do everything I say, and it's like, okay, is that
Exactly, and
know.
that's why after I think after Jersey Girl is the last movie I think he makes with the Weinsteins.
That
No,
makes sense. And they
not Jersey Girl.
torpedoed the
He
hell out of
makes-
that movie.
He makes Clerks 2 and he makes I'm sorry, Zack and Miri. Zack and Miri in 08 is the last movie he makes with the Weinsteins.
Interesting.
What are some of your guys' like favorite characters in here? Do you have like more than one? Do you just
Yeah.
have one that always stands out? What do you got, Ed?
Dude behind me.
Buddy Christ?
That's the best character, huh? Buddy Christ, baby, on your shirt, on your heart.
Yeah, my favorite character is George
ooh.
Carlin's like priest character. I think he's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Also Rufus is great.
Rufus is my
Yeah.
overall Collin.
Metatron.
I'd agree with you. He's my
Alan Rickman.
overall.
Mine's Metatron.
Yeah. He's just
I
so
think that
good
he
in
steals
this.
every scene.
Yeah. He
And I think
he
the most
grounds it
interesting-
in a way.
Oh,
He
for
grounds
sure,
this
for
movie.
sure.
And
Like,
he's
his
saying
gravitas
funny
makes you
lines, but
digest it.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's got funny
Uh,
dialogue, but his gravitas makes it very serious. Even when he's
and
pulling his non-penis out.
I mean, yeah, he's a Ken doll.
Exactly.
That definitely shocked me when it happened. I was like,
Ugh.
what's happening?
So
I think Bartleby is the most
What
interesting
happened
character.
to
Though.
his-
I think that he has he's the character with like the biggest arc in the movie.
Yeah,
he's the
truly.
character that changes the most without a doubt throughout the movie.
Bartleby, you said? Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I mean, geez, man, by the end of it, it's like, oh, what the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
Because he was the one at the beginning who was like kind of, standoffish and a little more
Sympathetic.
What the hell's
and-
going on? Yeah. By the end
But
of it,
then there's
he's-
that parking lot
yeah.
scene, and like that's where like right after the train and they're in that parking lot is like where he's like, you know what, I'm so mad, angry. Why are they always forgiven and we're not? Like we were cast out and all of that, and like like that's the moment he switches and he's like he becomes the angel of death then.
Mhm.
It's like righteous indignation, man. It leads to fanaticism and
Yeah.
radicalism and flying people up in the sky and dropping them on the ground.
Exactly. Because I'd say Loki was like, I don't know, there was points where you're like, I get what he's doing. But then again, by the end of it, it's just they go so full tilt the other way. Like when they're in that office scene. That's such a cool scene because those are bad people, right? Like we as the audience just know those are horrible people. So it's like you don't feel so bad. But then again, by the end of it, he's just killing anyone and everyone.
I do believe in this.
Yeah,
What does that even mean?
Because if not, that might be my favorite scene. That the office when they're in the movies corporate.
Ooh.
Mine too. I think that is that scene. That scene sounds like it was maybe one of the Kevin Smith's favorite scenes to write, because that scene right there sounds like the crisis of faith that probably was like a catalyst to this, right? And like all the questions that he's asking all those boardroom members and everything, saying like you are a rich conglomerate, you're worshiping a false idol, which is literally a golden calf.
Yeah, exactly.
And it lays out, I think, what will probably spark this whole idea, right? It's like all of those things being true. How do you hold on to faith? How can you say that like a just God lets those things happen? And I mean, those are the kind of questions that lead to crises of faith and making you start really questioning the institution that you're born into. So, that scene is, I think, the best in the movie. It's my favorite scene. It has humor, it has tension, it has like everything in it. Kevin
It's a
Smith
real
is
turning
very,
point
very
too.
talented.
Yeah, for sure. It's like I could see that being the first scene he wrote for sure. Like you were saying,
Right.
it's again in a very confident movie. That's a very confident scene, and nothing like Kevin Smith dialogue. Sometimes he gets shit for just the way it feels unnatural or whatever, but it's so good. It feels like old movies where like the dialogue was more important. You know what I mean? What they were saying it wasn't like they're trying to get say things without saying it. They were saying it and being snappy, and it's
Yeah,
like, yeah,
it's
no, this is a movie. This is fine. This is a movie, and this is dialogue, and he's having a monologue right now, which rarely happens in real life right now. But yeah, I loved it. Loved it.
What about you, Jim? Your favorite scene?
I got 3 of them. I got the movies corp for sure. The boardroom, awesome, like amazing. I do love the Bethany and Rufus car train scene
Mhm.
when they're going like back and forth, and like actually it's also one of my favorite lines is like where Rufus is like, the one thing that he hated is like the factioning of all religions. Humans got it all wrong by taking a good idea and putting structure on it,
Mhm.
and are putting a belief structure on it. And Bethany's like, what? So it's not good to have beliefs? And he's like, ideas are better. You can change an idea. Beliefs are tougher to change. People will die for a belief, will kill for a belief, but an idea you can change.
Mm-hmm.
And that like exchange right there back and forth is one of was like rewatching it, one of my favorite lines. So that goes into that scene. And then actually the Bartleby breakdown in the parking lot is another one, because that's where like that's again another one of those things where like you see you just see the person snap. Like,
Mhm.
like you see him snap, and it's like you're like, I get it. Like I feel bad for Bartleby at that point. Like it's crazy. I don't want him to go off and like go start murdering people, but it's like I understand his frustration with what he's saying
Mm-hmm.
and stuff of like how he's feeling and how he feels cheated in that.
It's funny.
Um,
Dogma almost recontextualized to me the idea of Satan and stuff. Like, wait, that dude was just unionizing heaven. I kind of get that. It's like, yeah, wait, you made me, and now all of a sudden the new employees are getting paid better. They got free will, dude. What do you mean?
Mhm.
I got to make your music. That's all I'm for. And then I don't know. And then he gets he gets hell, which is kind of sick, kind of a sick payoff.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna go
I don't know.
banish you to your own kingdom where all the
Yeah.
fun stuff happens.
Yeah, exactly. But I like that idea of just taking religion and just kind of just taking it, making it serious, and then showing just the ridiculousness of all the things. Because then again, like you said, the ideas can stay, but the belief parts can just be like maybe laughed at like they should be.
right.
Yep.
Because the bigger idea is way more important.
I also loved Chris Rock, Matt Damon, and Alan
The
Rickman.
best.
Those
Yeah.
3 were like my 3. I don't know. I love Matt Damon's performance in this. I find him to just like it's just a performance that you just don't really see from him, and I just like it because there's some when he's trying to be menacing, like he can be like really menacing. Like he's got that
Mm-hmm.
switch that he
Mhm.
can get into that Jason Bourne kind of mind, and I'm just like I don't want to fuck with this guy.
And let's be real, they look sick as fuck with their like hoodies and their trench coats and shit. Like it was very the aesthetic was killer.
Yep.
Very
All
like of
all
its
of the
time.
angels actually have hoods because in one of some of the original concept art that they were like looking at, just like religious art, the angels had like hoods kind of draped around them. So that's why
That's cool.
everyone who's an angel, if you look back, they all have hoods. And incorporated somewhere around their like costume and stuff. Yeah. Favorite line. You guys got a favorite line of dialogue in here? Because I've got one more. It's
Hit
definitely
it.
Jay. It's
One of
Jay's
my
line
favorite
that he says to Bethany at the diner. He's like, "Lead you, lady? Look at me. I don't know where I am half the time." Like the all timer, still like one of my favorite lines. I've been laughing at it for 27 years. Like I'm gonna laugh at it for the next 27 years. Like it gets me. I just laugh at it so fucking hard.
So I think my favorite line of dialogue is solely in the delivery, not necessarily in the exchange of dialogue, right? But it's when Rufus says, "You masturbate more than anyone else on the planet." It's just the way that he emphasizes anyone else on the planet. But yeah, the dialogue that follows after that is a little outdated. But that line delivery itself right there is like always stuck with me and killed me.
Yeah, one of my favorite lines comes from Rufus, and it's actually just the whole all the dialogue that he has when he's describing what Jesus was like
Yeah.
when he knew him. That's one of my favorite parts in the movie because and the reason one of Rufus is one of my favorite characters is because he finally gives you the I'm going blurry, but either way, he gives you the human aspect of Jesus. I mean, throughout all my life before this and seeing this, it's oh no, this is a really good dude who does really good things and people really loved him and he watches over you. Okay. And then they killed him. So it's like I didn't understand. I always thought that like, yeah, he was a higher power. He's this bigger thing. Like he was something we can never grasp. And then to bring Rufus in and to describe him as he did, it was I never saw that as anything. I didn't see him as a person. I saw him as somebody that was, you know, how it's going to be like, he loves you, but if you do something bad,
Right.
oh boy, you don't know. So, like, growing up like that and having Rufus, especially somebody like Chris Rock to portray that character as well, somebody who's was clearly very prominent in our upbringing for comedy and for movies. I mean, he was hitting his peak, like he was at his peak, like right now. At this time, he's just crushing it. So, for somebody that I already relate to and that I you know have bonded with through movies by his comedic roles, and for him to deliver that message to kind of like be like, oh, it, you know, that's definitely one of my favorite parts, and all that dialogue of just what was it, he loved to listen.
Yeah.
You know, when he said that, that's one of my that's probably my favorite line. He loved to listen. Because and another thing about that was like a lot of times growing up in Catholic schools and stuff, um, people didn't want to listen. They didn't really care. It was no, no, no. That's the belief system. That's how it's supposed to go. So it's just really, that's why Rufus stands out to me the most.
Plus, Rufus told us about God's skee ball addiction, which I didn't know about.
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
I'd say my overall favorite line is "snooches to the motherfucking booches." Before
that
he,
was very, very endearing, you know.
yeah, before he hits the hockey triplets or whatever.
Yeah.
Snooch to the motherfucking nooch, he says. It's like because in Mallrats, Snoochie Boochies was like a thing. So
yeah.
we were already saying so it was just like, oh, this dude's goofy. Jay really got his. And then also I love Azrael's line about the no pleasure, no rapture, no exquisite sin greater than central air. Like so good. Yeah.
That's a great like that line of dialogue was like written for Jason Lee. Yeah, like
Exactly.
he's just he's great at that kind of stuff.
He's wonderful.
If nothing else, I just wanted to bring up Jason Lee because
He's amazing, and like this role,
he does get a little
Yeah,
overshadowed,
which is crazy.
in the movie because of being a villain, and also just
he's
because
a
of the
villain, but
cast.
he's not
I mean,
the main
the
antagonist
cast just,
by the end of it, right? So
no, he's not at all. But he's like that kind of like comedic, you know, side villain, like you know. He's pulled scams, you know. He's
And
grifter.
Azrael's
That's what he
another kind of
reminds you of.
cool.
And then,
It's a demon, right? So it's another cool thing pulled straight from theology that I love to see.
I'm still not convinced that Jason Lee and Ed's brother are not the same person. Because your brother, I think, looks so much like Jason Lee.
Ed glitched out right when you said that, so I think he's lying.
I for those that don't know my brother, which is, you know, I think majority of the people, yeah, he looks just like Jason Lee. Jason Lee is just I don't know, he's probably more talented, but my brother's not gonna watch this anymore.
I mean, Jason Lee was like a skateboarder, like a cool comedic actor. I don't know, dude's pretty sick.
So cool.
Right.
Yeah, he and for 90s
Gnar.
kids, bro, he was Gnar shit.
Yeah, it was.
He was sonar. Dude, shredded sub, bro.
And then My Name is Earl is also kind of classic.
Yeah, good show.
Was
Very
wonderful.
Also, side thing. Shout out
It's
to
one of my
the new
dad's-
Malcolm in
one
the
of my
Middle.
dad's
Looks
favorites.
funny as fuck.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway,
Okay.
Can't wait for that.
Sure.
yeah.
I was never a fan.
Oh,
but,
you hillbilly.
Yeah, I agree.
I just thought they were the
Exactly why it was funny, 'cause It
hillbillies.
was realistic, unlike all those.
They
other
weren't
bullshit.
hillbillies. They were
Yeah.
they were a
They were
real
real.
middle-class family.
They were your family.
They
Most
were me
likely.
and my brothers, without a doubt.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
We're
You
not
guys are
my
bigger
family.
hillbillies. I get it.
Oh, you.
One of my favorite
All right,
That's what
we're
a hillbilly
derailed
would
again,
say.
Jimmy.
one of my favorite things of like little last bits of like trivia about this movie is when Kevin met George Carlin, his wife had just passed. Like yeah, George
George Carlin's
Carlin's
wife?
wife had passed like
Okay.
maybe 3 or 4 days before like they had sat down and he said he would do the role. And when they were sitting down at that meeting, he was like, "Hey, I know you want me to play a cardinal and everything. Cardinals don't wear wedding bands. If you're cool with this, because I'm not cool with taking off the wedding band yet, but if you're cool with this, we can put a band-aid around my finger." So that's why if you see his left hand in the movie, there's a band-aid around his ring finger.
No, it's
And like
cute.
Kevin like tells the story of like he's like, "Oh my god, of course, that's absolutely beautiful. Will you be my father and stuff?" But like that was the one thing George Carlin asked him. He was like, "Hey, are you cool about with that?" It's like, "Yeah, man, like yeah," because he was supposed to meet him at that Conan appearance because George
Oh.
Carlin's last booking that his wife ever did was that Conan appearance.
Aw.
And so instead of canceling it, like everybody thought George Carlin was going to do, he goes to his last booking because it was the last thing that his wife had booked for him before she passed.
That's cute.
And so like like
Sweet.
Kevin was supposed to meet him like because Kevin was on that show too, and he was like, "Yeah, here's the script. Have him call me like whenever things are like whenever. Like yeah, like I'm gonna go. I don't need to like meet him."
It's actually crazy knowing that he's going through that during the filming of this because I did not know that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
like
sucks.
he's going through like the passing of his wife and everything.
I
Like that.
Speaking of his character, I love when he's like, Catholic Church doesn't make mistakes. I just like that.
Coming from George Carlin too,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
just,
right.
it's a very layered.
His whole
joke.
career has been, yeah, exactly. Yeah, silent consent to the slave trade. It's a platform of non-involvement during the Holocaust. It's so good.
So is there any favorites that you guys want to get to before we kind of move into some final thoughts here?
No, again, I love that line. What I was just talking about, its platform of non-involvement during the Holocaust. It's so well written.
I mean, I think, like I said, it's my favorite of Kevin Smith's movies. Also, the first one I was introduced to. It's very funny. It's very thoughtful, and if I believed in a God similar to this, I believe that God would be a woman. And so I always thought that the concept at the end of Alanis Morissette coming out and God being a woman, I was like, that just makes so much sense to me.
Yeah.
Same.
That's just me personally. And like, that's an idea that first came to me from Dogma because God is a him everywhere that you hear
exactly.
growing up in Catholicism.
Yeah.
And so that introduced the idea to me of like God as a woman, if you would even assign something
gender,
like that
yeah,
to God,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But it just kind of broadened my idea of it. And like to this day, like that has stuck with me in terms of like how I try to wrap my head around whatever everything means, you know what I mean? So yeah, that stuck with me a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that statement because Alanis Morissette was a genius casting choice too because
Yeah,
she's the
perfect.
biggest singer, like a big singer at the time, and then you have cast her as someone who doesn't speak at all because if she does, it'll just collapse the universe. It's like
I thought that pairing was so awesome. Like to think of it as the voice of God, Alan Rickman, and then Alanis Morissette, who the best thing about it is a tiny little woman doing headstands
like
in a courtyard of a church.
Yeah.
A goofy woman who, that there were just some pastors like, well, I never. But anyways.
But and the concept that God was trapped because he wanted to play skee ball is also hilarious. God was trapped.
Oh God, it was so funny.
It's all these
was so funny.
basically pointing out of
Was it John Doe Jersey? Or is it John Doe
yeah,
Jersey?
because they didn't know
Yeah.
who he was, so he was a John Doe.
That he calls him. Yeah, Don Joe.
But it's all
Doe Jersey.
pointing out
That's
the
one of my
loopholes is all because Catholic Church, especially
Yeah.
Mormons nowadays, like all these like weird, funny loopholes that you could point out that are just like, why even God doesn't, you know what I mean? God doesn't understand loopholes. Like,
Right. You
always
think your
funny to me, the
secular
idea.
loophole here is gonna fool God?
Yeah,
And,
trying
I
to
mean,
trick God is so funny to me.
Also, like the idea is
I
like
did
God loves skee ball, right? And
Yeah.
when God comes down as Lance Morissette doing cartwheels in the street, and it's kind of just saying it's like God's favorite thing about his like creation here on Earth are like the trivial, simple pleasures, right? Like something as silly as skee ball is like to God. That's why God comes down, because just like skee ball, like we get to live in a world where skee ball exists.
That's worth almost losing
is
their domain in heaven. That's worth almost losing everything, like existence almost. Yeah, just for skee ball, just to be alive and play skee ball.
And that's the gift, right? Like life is the gift, and like God comes down to experience that, and life happens in those little moments, right? So like it's an accumulation of those like little things, and like that's what one of the things the movie's trying to say. And this movie's saying a lot, and like I said, at the end of the day, it is very pro faith. It's saying it's like it's good to believe in something. It's good to believe in the idea of something. Make that idea your own. Let it evolve. You know what I mean? But having faith in something, this movie argues is a very healthy thing, as long as you're doing for the right thing.
Almost the same thing. Almost the same thing you said. Almost the same exact thing that you just said. That's the same thought I had earlier. I wrote it down. I was like, this movie was so great for you to be like to say, hey, it's okay to question. It's okay to be open and express yourself like that. Because as I said, I feel like a lot of the times you could.
You don't have to end up like Bartleby. You could end. You know what I mean? You could have this crisis of faith and still end up a good person or not just completely losing it.
Right.
I did also have a thought before,
and you could be Jay and still be loved by God. Jay and Silent Bob are still like good in the eyes of God. You know?
I was going towards Jay and Silent Bob. Do you think there's a play off of the traditional Christian family of a husband and wife? Jay, the talkative one, never shuts his goddamn mouth.
And they're a heterosexual life mates.
They're hetero life mates,
and they're a heterosexual life mate, right? It's definitely a play on the. I think on the Christian, the modernized Christian families, or like the traditional. Sorry, the traditional Christian family.
I mean, it's very similar to
to
God. It's very similar to God and Alan Rickman in this movie. Like you got the voice.
Yeah.
Until Silent Bob needs to speak, and then he goes off, which are also some of my favorite moments, especially in this one. It's great.
No tickets.
Yeah, Silent Bob going off is always
frustrated, just like God, this idiot. It's great. It's crazy that he goes through all this, but like there's always a breaking point where this. Oh man.
My favorite Silent Bob break is in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and when we do that pod, I'll get to it because it's my favorite. It's my favorite break of his. Did you guys know Sam Jackson was almost in this movie?
Yes.
Did you also know that Sam Jackson got paid $100,000 to not be in this movie?
I did know that.
That's pretty dope.
No, I didn't know that. I'm kidding.
Wow.
That was downloaded in my brain when I was born. I knew that information. No, I did not, but that's great.
Did you know Robert Rodriguez was originally supposed to direct this? No, that's serious. Kevin Smith asked him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he said no because it was too personal of a movie, and he
that
thought
makes
Kevin
sense.
Smith would be the best at depicting it. Yeah, I agree too. Not that Robert Rodriguez wouldn't have made a fucking banger of a movie, but he's right. This was too personal to Kevin.
So Sam Jackson gets paid $100K then, because I guess it's part of maybe SAG rules or something through the union that
if they offered it to somebody else,
give a role without somebody officially responding, then they're owed a piece. Because like in the end, it was like basically like it's as simple as this. Like people will like whoever will ask Sam Jackson, "Did you want to be in the movie?" And as long as he says yes, like that's like them giving the role Chris Rock was like a violation or something. So
Okay.
he got $100K to
I
not be
think
in
Chris
Dogma.
Rock probably would have been the better option either way. Only because SLJ would have taken that fucking. So
I think, I mean, Sam Jackson would have crushed it, but it's definitely a different movie.
yeah, it's a different vibe of a movie for him. And plus, you've
Um,
already got so many blockbuster faces there. I mean, even Selma Hayek. I think we only brought her up like once or twice. In my personal opinion, I did find her to be good. I was not as connected to her in the movie as I was to basically everybody else around, like Bethany and everybody else. So, but it was already a blockbuster cast. I mean, um, adding in Samuel Jackson instead of Chris Rock, yeah, he would have crushed it. But I think the message and the human aspect of Rufus gets more portrayed through Chris Rock.
yeah. I mean, I don't
I'd just
think
like to say 11 or 12-year-old me felt very connected to Salma Hayek in this movie.
yeah.
She does have a line of dialogue. Line of dialogue that I think most disagree with Kevin Smith on is when she's talking about how she's responsible for giving the idea of like 9 out of the 10 best grossing movies of all time. And she's
19
like,
out of
except
20,
for,
yep.
yeah. So she's like, except for Home Alone, and she shits on Home Alone. And when I was young, I was just like, that's a wrong opinion. Home Alone's awesome. So
Yeah,
I agree. Like that is a absolutely wrong
that was a
opinion.
horrible take on Kevin Smith's part.
Yeah. I still think it's a horrible take. I like listening to it today. It's literally in my notes that I was like, this is crazy that he like shits on.
you could go back
Home
and
Alone.
remove this, man. Make a recut version. Just get rid of it. You got rid of the poop monster. Because that's only a deleted scene now, isn't the poop monster just as a deleted
No,
scene?
it's
No!
still very much so in there. What are you
Yeah, I was gonna
talking
say
about?
that's like a critical point in the movie.
Yeah. What the hell are you talking about?
Why did I always think that that's in there? I just watched it too, and I watched the poop monster. I always thought that was a recut.
Well, maybe it's because you're poo shy.
Shut up.
That's
That's
true.
not for the public. Man, Murphy, Merv. What did we say? What did we say?
Collin, edit this out, dude.
Dude, he's gonna put so many edits in about poop now, and they're all gonna be on me.
Oh, don't be shy.
No, so in all honesty, the poop monster did like that part got a little too crazy and goofy for me. And then maybe that's why I kind of edited it out. Because I did just watch it too. I don't know. That part was just too goofy for me. But you could always re-edit out that Home Alone thing because it is a terrible take.
Yeah, I
Movie
don't.
rules.
I've never understood that hate. One other of the funny things that I find is Ben Affleck when he's getting tossed off the train. He is screaming "Silent Bob" in German.
Oh,
That's what he's saying as he's getting like tossed off the train. That's why you hear him like it's like "Social Bob." He's trying to say "Silent Bob" in German as he's like.
is it
getting
just because
tossed off.
it's another play on indie?
Yeah, why?
Again? Just another play on
It,
indie?
there was a joke that I guess Ben was making towards Kevin at that time of like going to Germany or something, and he was trying to incorporate this like inside Ben Affleck like Kevin Smith joke into the movie
It was
as like an
probably
ad
Silent Bob in German sounded really funny the way you pronounce it, kind of like how like Matt, your wife, when we would go out growing up in the show, you'd always just hear Scheiße, Scheiße. And you always knew it was Sarah because Scheiße. So it could have been something
fun
like
language.
that.
It's
That's
a
my
fun
big
language.
Scheiße. Ooh. What is it for ambulance? Is this like Frankenwagen? An ambulance is like Frankenwagen.
I don't know, but it sounds German.
right?
It sounds German.
Howard Shore does the music.
Yeah, it's an interesting trivia bit.
It is
Yes.
super crazy that Howard Shore read the script and was like, I'm in.
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, what?
And that makes sense though, if there's centuries and centuries of musical influence from Catholicism, you know what I mean? Like hymns and everything. Like there's just so much musical theory behind it all. Like you'd kind of just be like, oh man, there's so many motifs that I could throw in here musically, you know, like I'm obsessed with the Lord of the Rings soundtracks from Howard Shore, and like the level of thought and commitment that he put into like every single note of that soundtrack, like really gives you a glimpse into he sees music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like one of those people, and so I can see why reading this script would like scratch that itch, you know, being like, oh, I can create something cool. That being said, this soundtrack or the score for this doesn't particularly stick out to me.
No, but it is.
So,
that is.
It's good. It's just
yeah,
not
you're
epic,
right.
you know?
It's not Lord of the Rings. You know,
Right.
it's not other.
That's a high bar.
Yeah, it's a real high bar. I mean, like the Dogma soundtrack is not making my shuffle like the Lord of the Rings soundtrack is making it. So, yeah, it's very, very, very high bar.
What about Alanis Morissette's song "Still"?
I'm not a fan of Alanis Morissette as a singer. So,
just as an almighty.
Yeah. Oh, man, I was about to say something terrible. I was like, yeah, silent. No, that's so terrible. But see, God's a woman now, and you're still telling her to be quiet. Misogynist.
And you are digging yourself in deep there, buddy.
I know. Collin. Collin. But I loved the fact that like when you had an appearance of God and you saw the physical form that, and I know we already discussed it, that it was, you know, this tiny goofy Alanis Morissette. It was such a I mean, they're building God up this entire time to be this just kind of they kind of build God up to be kind of like an asshole throughout it. I mean, on both sides. Like, you got the one side telling him, no, it's, you know, he does this, he works in mysterious ways this way. And then at the other side telling him, no, he's shit, fuck that guy. Like, you know. And then Millennius more shit pops up and you're like, how could you be mad at that? Look at her.
I mean, that's the movie's kind of saying that Bartleby and Loki, they know the Old Testament God. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Loki was sent down to kill the firstborns in Egypt. You know, like that is a vengeful, spiteful God.
Yeah.
And that's like their point, is just being like, we got cast out, and they gave free will to these ungrateful, you know, beings that still question him. That's what they do. He's given them everything, where he, you know, we were in servitude to him in the Old Testament, and then, you know, he lets his son, you know, walk around and, you know, become the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, creating the Trinity, whatever. But it's like the point of the movie is basically saying is that, like, we got the old God, we have grievances there. You know, we feel persecuted against both God, but then also the people here on earth. So they're spiteful against that. And then the people here on earth that were given the gift of free will use that free will to twist the church's teachings, right? So that's like, you know, the cardinal creating Buddy Christ to create this loophole and everything. But then also there's people that question it, or people that misconstrue it. Like I'm not going to get into it, but, you know, there's a reason that Bethany works for Planned Parenthood. You know, they're saying a lot with that, and Jay says something so eloquently that is kind of the crux of how I feel about it, which is it's their own business. But the movie, I think, is trying to say that God is a lot of things, and there's like the dichotomy of the Old Testament, the New Testament, a lot of grievances all around, and at the end of the movie, God comes down and is still grateful and happy to be here. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that the movie grapples with that quite a bit.
Yeah. Alanis was originally offered the role of Bethany. She turned it down, and then she went on a pilgrimage to like India, I guess, or something for a couple of weeks, whatever, a month or whatever. She comes back and she calls Kevin and she's like, I know you probably already recast it, but like I went over there. I got like I realized that I was running from fear and I should kind of like steer it, like stare it, like take it head on and stuff. And so if there's still a role available for me in your like flick, I'd like actually love to be a part of it. And he was like, actually, you know what? I've got a
I got a big
very
one.
crucial role for you to play. And she was like, what is it? And he was like, God, you know, and she said yes. So like that's how we get Alanis Morissette in there. But yeah, she was originally asked to be Bethany, you know, to be our lead. That's also like a completely different movie, I feel like too. Other
Mhm.
like without Linda Fertingo. Um
I mean, I don't know how did Alanis do any other acting? The only thing I think I remember seeing her in was Best Friends with Ryan Reynolds when they were married.
Yeah, I don't know her as an actress.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know her
but
as an actress. So yeah, you're right.
I think they did the right thing though. They
Oh
cast the
yeah,
right Bethany, I think.
oh,
she was
I
great.
agree. I absolutely agree.
Her attitude and her emotion throughout the entire thing, like you can tell, it's just somebody that is just being dragged through the motions.
It just exhausted, put upon.
Exhausted. Yeah. And it's just
And then
so good.
you find out at the end of the movie, it's just like you thought that was exhausting. Like you have a crucial role to play, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's also there's parallels there with Jesus too, right? Is like
Right.
Jesus having to like accept the burden of everything that's going to be on his shoulders, right? And that's intentional. It's a very
Absolutely.
intentional movie. The more I talk about it, the more I'm just like, man, like Kevin Smith.
Nailed it.
He's singular. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's one of a kind, and we're lucky to have his stuff. I mean, I know Jimmy. Nobody loves Kevin Smith more than you, obviously, but I admire him a lot. And every time I talk about one of the movies of his that I really like, I'm just like, man, when he's on, man, he's really on.
Yeah. And you
like,
see that passion. You see that passion so often with the stuff that he does. And it's like this is a comedic movie, but it's a very serious movie. Like Jay and Silent Bob, very comedic, you know, like he shows so much passion when it comes to comedy or whether it comes to serious notes, drama. I mean, yeah, we as you said, we are very lucky to have him. Um, he's kind of that grounded guy for us. Like he's that kind of guy that you know that you could sit around and talk with and just let that conversation flow without any of the other noise getting involved. I think that, and he came out at a right time for us, especially growing up, especially at this time with Dogma coming out. Like that was a very pivotal time in our lives. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. Very lucky to have a guy like Kevin Smith putting this art out there for us to see.
Dogma fucking rules, man. Fuck Harvey Weinstein.
Two good points.
I just love, yeah, Dogma rules. Fuck Harvey Weinstein. So
that should be your sign off now, Jimmy, for every video. Is like, all right, fuck Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, I mean, it might be. Maybe why not, right? Fuck that guy.
I know you guys came here for the commentary, but you stayed for the fuck Harvey Weinstein.
Please no.
Do you want to see more from Dogma?
Do I want to see more
or
like
the
a
world
Dogma
of Dogma?
2?
Because it's not owned by Harvey Weinstein anymore, and the people that do own it now, Kevin is willing to work with them and is happy to work with them, and I believe is developing some sort of continuation of it.
I don't think I need one.
Me
I
neither.
don't. Yeah, if they do, will I see it? Yes. But I don't need it.
Do you have a preference on how they bring it back?
That's my problem. I mean, I would totally imagine that they would take it back. Like there would almost be a route of she's got the second, like she gave birth to the second coming, and I don't want to go down that road of
I just think that the movie said everything it needed to say.
It did.
Like,
It did.
right.
I don't need more. There's no more message for me to really grasp out of it, out of another one, you know?
Yeah, a continuation of like any part of the story. Like, I don't know if he wants to make a thematic sequel or something. I'm sure there's more to say, but like with these specific characters, like they have reached their endpoint thematically by the end of this movie, right? It's like either like they found their faith or they've fallen or whatever. It's just like if you're going to extend that, it's going to kind of undo like the impact of the end of this movie. I just think it's a very singular, contained story packed in with a lot of ideas. So I'm sure that Kevin Smith, in the intervening almost 30 years, has many new ideas around it because I know that his faith has fluctuated and everything in the time since. So I'm sure there are a lot of ideas that he would want to throw in here. But for me, I don't see much of a new story in it. But
if you wanted, I would say if you wanted to do any type of expansion on it, I wouldn't say you need a Dogma 2. You don't need any type of, you really don't need any film, but like if you wanted to expand on stories of like other stories of Bartleby, you know, and Loki and stuff like that. If you wanted to do comic strips or even like something like, I mean, they've made animated shorts of Jay and Silent Bob, have they not?
There was the Clerks cartoon and stuff.
The Clerks cartoon, yeah, like something like that. I would actually be very interested in if we wanted to expand on storylines of not necessarily what happened in the Dogma storyline, but on some of the characters.
Like,
that's actually not a bad idea.
You could actually find out, like, does Chris Rock, like Rufus, does he get put back into like new printings of the Bible or something?
Right, yeah, and
like,
you can add in your comedic bits. You could do your takes on that one. I think that'd be much more interesting than expanding off this storyline, which I felt was very complete by the end.
I think that's a good point. If you do like an episodic, I think an animated thing actually would probably.
I think that would be so much fun because
like throw themes in each episode.
Yeah. I think that would be like that would be fun. I'd be watching that in a heartbeat. That would be so much fun.
I still don't need it, but that would entice me more than a movie sequel, I think.
Yeah.
More than a movie or like a prestige like limited series like 4 or 5
I think so, yeah. Like I don't think that it calls for it. Some things I think can and should be left alone. Kevin Smith is never someone to leave anything alone though. It's part of what I like about him, right? Is like he's just passionate about stuff.
Hey guys, I came up with
it could be annoying and he could really miss the mark sometimes, but the fact that he just keeps going, evolving, and just finding new ways to make what he wants to make, can't hate on that. You know what I mean? He's still that get down and dirty kind of independent filmmaker because the studio system chewed him up and spit him out, right? You know, like he was a commodity for the studio system until he wasn't. And then he helped pioneer podcasting and all this. Like he knows what he's doing. And he's a creative force that should be given runway to create. So if he wants to do something more with Dogma, I'm sure he will. And I'm sure I'll check it out.
Yeah.
And it'll hit or it won't. That's the fun thing about Kevin Smith to me.
It won't turn you off to Kevin Smith. In all honesty,
no, I don't think anything really could. You know, like I root for him. Like that's the thing is like it's not. I'm a fan of his stuff, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, dude, like keep making your stuff. Like
like we're not a maniac.
I think it's
Jimmy.
the coolest.
We want him to live his life and do his thing, and we want to watch it. I mean, Jimmy's foaming at the mouth for Jimmy. Do you want a Dogma too?
If I'm being honest, no. I don't want any kind of sequel. I agree with you guys that this is just such a singular point that I think any kind of expansion is kind of diluting it. The idea of doing like you could do a series of even shorts, like they don't need to be like 20-minute episodes. Like you could literally give us like Bluey's episodes of like 10 minutes or less of like, again, finding out
episode.
like does
Rufus
Rufus get put back into the Bible? Like if that's the only one that I can think of that I'm like, I kind of want to know, like, do they do that? Like, would you rewrite like history and shit like that? Like, how does that happen? That's the only thing that
Kevin Smith's universe.
I think. What?
I said, why not? It's Kevin Smith's universe now.
Oh, I know.
I mean, like, yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of other deals.
Yeah, I would love that.
that idea has the most legs, I feel
Yeah.
like, is
Yes.
like what inserting Rufus back into the Bible, what does that represent? It represents the many iterations of the Bible, right? I mean, like it's been passed down and passed down. It's like the Bible you read today, it's like it's a game of telephone, you know what I mean? Like it changes with each iteration
Yeah.
until it's a very different thing from what it probably originally was. And so and that's been done many times over the last like 2 millennia, right? So
Right.
I think that is something that you could explore. There's plenty of things to tap into when it comes to
Right.
Catholicism still. So like I said, like I'm sure he's got a million new ideas in the last like 20 something years. I don't know. I'll be interested to see. I know that he's been itching to get Dogma back in front of people, just like
Right.
getting the rights back and everything. So I don't know. You know, Kevin Smith, sometimes he just gets a feeling and then that feeling turns into something and he just runs with it. So, you know, maybe creativity will strike him and he won't be able to let it go until he makes Dogma 2.
Right. So I mean, obviously, I'm not going to stop him from from making his art.
Not
or
that you
anything,
could.
you know,
Not
like
that
not that
you
I
could.
could or would. But yeah, so like it in the end, like if it's inspired to like happen, like if he's like, I got some ideas, like I want to put out there, great. Like I hope so. If it's literally just because like, hey, I can play with these characters again, and I haven't really thought about this movie in 30 years, or these characters in like 30 years, but like we can make some money again, it's gonna be bad. It'll be bad
Yeah.
if that's it'll be bad if
I
that's the
mean,
reason to come back.
and I guess that's always subjective too, because like
Fair.
I'm a fan of Clerks 2 and 3, and Clerks is one of those movies just like, what sequel would you make? Why would you want to make a sequel to Clerks? Like that is such a contained little movie. But he had more to say because he loved those characters. And that's why I like 2 and 3. Is like 2 and 3 are very different from the first. Like they're all unique movies. Like they
Yeah.
all have their own themes, their own tones, their own things to say. And you know, they represent Kevin Smith at different parts in his life. So like Dogma, I feel similar to. It's just like you don't need a sequel to it. But if he loves these characters and he still has something to say, like it's worth listening to.
I mean,
We'll
he's
see.
got plenty of content and plenty of stuff to go off of, just based off of you know, the climate of today. You know,
Yeah.
if he's, I'm sure he's got stuff to say about things that have happened over the past decade, especially with, you know, the Catholic Church and how things have shifted, the dynamics, the weather, you know, all that, like within political and faith-driven social issues. So I
Yeah.
mean, there's plenty to do, but like I said, with Dogma, this one I thought was just, it is a complete storyline. Um, it wouldn't be a Dogma 2, you know, it would have to be something a little bit more fresh, original, I think. And we know that Kevin Smith can do that because we've seen it. I mean, heck, you've mentioned Tusk several times and stuff like
Right.
that. And
Yeah, love that movie. Love that movie.
it-
Dogma and Tusk are like neck and neck for me. Like I don't know. I think Tusk is just the
I
coolest.
remember watching that when we first watched that, and I was just like, "What the hell am I watching?" It's like,
Tusk.
It's just batshit crazy,
Yeah.
and
But
I love every second of that movie.
there, if you ever listen to that podcast, the
I
Walrus
have.
and the Walrus, it's beautiful because it's like literally that is story writing 101.
Mhm.
Like the idea of what Kevin Smith has always said, like chase whimsy and stuff, you know,
Mhm.
like find those yes people in your lives and whatnot. Um, and it is just like one of the most inspiring things to like just listen to. It's like the same thing like when I watch like the appendices to like the appendices specifically for Fellowship and Two
Mhm.
Towers for
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. Those
Yeah.
are like truly like inspired people trying to make the greatest thing in the world to them for this movie, and like whether it be like this little like kink in this chain of armor that will end up being over a horse that you see ride by for 30 seconds, but they worked on it for 3.5 weeks to get it right and stuff. Like there's just so much about that that is just like beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And like Tusk has all of that, and like the idea of just like, I don't know, chasing whimsy and all of that, and also never giving up on your ideas, like
That's what
Dogma
I
and
love
stuff.
so much about it is like the idea like it comes to them in real time, and he just gets like Gideon. He's just like, I'm gonna make this, and then he goes and makes it, and it's just like what a crazy, weird, silly idea, and it turns into a genuinely very unsettling movie.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I don't know, man. That's every time I like get into talking about Kevin Smith with you, Jimmy. I'm always just like, I love this guy.
Yeah. I mean, again, I agree. Like when he's on, he's on. I definitely have my feelings about all of his movies and stuff. Like
Mhm.
Clerks 2 is the one that just like opened my eyes of like what I wanted to do, of like just figure out how to work with my friends and be create shit. Like
The
with my
lightning
friends.
rod of a movie for you.
Yeah,
There's,
and like,
yeah,
it like rewrote my brain and shit.
That sound
it did,
effect.
man.
It really did. But yeah, so like I love that, but like Tusk is really fucking. I just like it reminds me of like The Fly and like even the
Oh,
substance and
body horror.
stuff
It's great body
of
horror.
like
That's
from like
very
last
good.
year and
Yeah,
shit.
I didn't ever did that. No. Fly and
Uh,
Tusk. Yeah.
and then but even Red State's I mean Red State is the hillbilly cousin to Dogma.
Yeah, actually, wow, yeah, wow. I can't believe we didn't think about that. Like he did have more to say, and he
And it's Red
decided to
State.
make it frightening. Yeah,
It's Red
yeah.
State. So again, like kind of going back to that question, is there another need for Dogma 2 or like a continuation of it? I don't know, but if he's inspired and he wants to do it, like yes, I'm going to sign up, because like watching Red State, that was also like a real trip. Like he does Red State and he does Tusk back to back, and both of those movies are two of the most different movies that he's ever kind of made. They're really like kind of punk rock. They're really fucked up and like gnarly. Like Tusk is like one of the best body horror movies. I think I think it's like okay to put it up there in like people's like top 5, top 10 like body horror movies. Like it's so good. And just in the other key component to Tusk is putting Justin Long in your horror movie.
100%, dude. Justin Long
Like,
makes everything a little bit better, in my opinion. I love that
especially
guy.
fucked up
Especially
horror
when he's getting
movies.
mutilated.
I mean, I just want to talk.
Jeepers Creepers, Tusk, Barbarian. I know the's more.
There's always more. But he
Zach and Miri, you know, when he's talking about the gay porn.
I
He's
mean,
one of the
I
best parts of
guess.
that movie.
But like, I do love Zach and Miri, and he's very funny in that movie. He's also very funny when he kind of reprises that role in Reboot.
Do you like? Yeah, they're not fucking you.
I couldn't hear anything you just said there.
Oh, it was just what? Do you like? What's your demographic? I don't know. Do you like women? Yeah, they're not fucking you.
Yeah, Justin Long is great, dude.
Just stirring that drink the whole time.
This has been a lot of digressions during this podcast, but
It's okay.
it's fitting.
Yeah,
We do that.
we got a lot of ideas here. But really, do you guys have any more like final thoughts or comments on Dogma before we wrap up here?
Well, just do what Rufus said that Jesus did. He listened to people more often. So open up your mind and your heart.
I like that. I guess my final thought would be the silly profoundness in God's response to why are we here? And it's as simple and profound as a boop. And I think that actually is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this. Collin, we love seeing you here. And so yeah, we're gonna wrap this all up. I am Jimmy with the Triple C Collective. I've got Matt and Ed with me. Say goodbye, guys.
See you later.
See you later.
We hope you all stay safe. Please like and subscribe to our video and to our channel. And Dogma rules. Fuck Harvey Weinstein.